everybody to the Single and Stilettos Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Carmelia Ray, and she is a matchmaking, dating, and attraction expert at Dating, Love, and Sex Tips. And she's also the Director of Business Development at LavaLife. And she's going to give us all the best online dating tips she can give us, because I know she has the inside scoop because she works over at LavaLife. So welcome, Carmelia, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So before we get started into the questions, I would love for you to tell our audience your background and what you do.
Okay, I actually have been in the matchmaking business since 1992. I started in the world of offline matchmaking, so I work with matchmaking organizations that match people one-on-one, professional matchmaking versus online. And a couple of years ago, I decided to explore online dating, although the clients that I've worked with have all, most people who approach a matchmaker have already tried online dating, so I have a lot of experience personally and with clients in the online dating space.
Right. And I think that you can agree, because as you know, I'm a matchmaker too, is that it just depends on the person. I think both ways are a great way to meet someone. It just depends on the person, because with online dating, it's like a full-time job. You have to put the work into it, right?
I think if you put the work into all things, even when you, as you know, with your clients working in matchmaking, they've got to be part of the solution also. You can't just put a match in front of them and expect, miracles to happen. It's a lot of it has to do with their own behavior and what they do on the dates.
Exactly. So let's get into the first question.
Okay.
So what are the 3 biggest mistakes that women make when it comes to online dating?
Wow. I was glad you asked that. I think I was trying to think of the 3 biggest. The biggest one, number one, is that I feel that women give up far too easily when it comes to online dating. The average online dater, both genders, is probably 3 months when they're on an online dating site. I think for some ladies that I've spoken to, it could be 1 day, or it could be one lousy message or one inappropriate message from a guy, and they assume that this is the community of online daters. So I think biggest mistake number one is they give up too soon. Okay. A second big mistake is that they're not honest about, they misrepresent themselves. And a lot of complaints I get from the gentlemen is that, especially when it comes to their profile picture, but that's mistake number 3. So misrepresenting themselves or over-exaggerating certain qualities or activities. For example, if they say, I have a very active lifestyle, for many people, the definition of active means that they're out, they're doing things, not I'm active in that I wake up and I go to work. So that's a mistake. Oh yeah, I love reading. Well, what's the last book you read? I don't know, it was in high school, I think. So that's a mistake. And then the last one, of course, is not using appropriate photos, or not sure what photos they should be using to flatter themselves in terms of image and putting themselves in the best light. And I think that's another common mistake that women make online.
And I love that you said that. And I've heard that some women will sometimes lie and tell a little white lie about their age. And I always tell them that's a bad idea. And I want to get your thoughts on that.
That's the biggest place where men feel that they were taken advantage of, if you will. Women lie about their age. So I don't know why they feel like they need to do that, but I often do get feedback from ladies, say, in a particular age, 45 and up or 55, and they seem to say, the minute that I say I'm 46 or the minute that I say I'm 51, all of a sudden my response ratio or my message ratio drops.
Right.
But it may not be the age, it may be it may be their online profile. And many times on further inspection, it's not the age, it's the pictures that they're using or the way that they've described themselves or haven't described themselves, which is why they're experiencing the lack of interest.
And I'm really glad that you brought up pictures because, you know, as a matchmaker, I know men are very visual. And if a man is not attracted to you, forget it. He's not going to even read your profile. And that's what I tell my clients. So let's talk about the photos and how important they are. And give us your best photo profile tips.
Oh man, there's so many tips that we can talk about with online dating profiles. I think when it comes to your online profile for women, they really need to be careful. First of all, it's got to be flattering. And what's flattering for some people, that's kind of like a very open-ended definition. What's flattering to you may be different to me. Being pretty, I like to use that word. It's looking at a photo, knowing that there's a confidence about them, posture is good. I think men like to see not just the face, but they need to have a full body photo and a recent photo. So I can't emphasize enough how women should be using the most up-to-date, most accurate photo as possible. And I strongly and highly recommend using a professional photographer, or at least someone, a caring friend or family member with a decent camera. Make yourself up a little bit, not heavily made up. Natural makeup is better than really heavily made up because that's not how you are every day of the week. But if it is how you are every day of the week, then you don't want to make yourself up natural when they see you, you've got a lot of makeup. So
exactly. And one thing I want to bring up to the ladies about makeup is, ladies, I will tell you, most men don't like a ton of makeup. They don't care if you wear some makeup, but they don't like when you have everything and you look completely different the next morning. So don't put on too much makeup.
In the makeup rule, I think less is more. Natural men certainly do prefer the natural look, and that you can save the dramatic look for those special occasions and when you're out on a special occasion. But yeah, most guys love the fact that a woman doesn't really have to make herself up, but highlight your features.
That's a really great point. Great point. So what should a woman do? Because I've heard this too before, you know, like you said, a woman will put up a profile and if she has a bad experience, she like gets offline, which I think is a bad idea. So what if she's online and she's not getting any men that are contacting her? What should she do?
Well, a lot of times women feel like being online is enough. Being online is just a way to let the online dating community know, or the guys, that, hey, I exist. But a lot of guys, they experience a ton of rejection. So my advice to a woman who's not getting a lot of hits is to go after the men and message the men that she's interested in. The ratio of men receiving messages to women receiving messages is something like, I don't know, 18 to 1, 30 to 1. So if you as a woman are expecting to sit there amongst all the other profiles, you know, if it's not happening for you, make it happen. So step number one is directly message the gentleman that you are interested in, because that is a surprise for a lot of guys. And it shows some initiative on your part and confidence. And secondly, if you are the type of person that happens to be messaging a lot of people and are not getting the response you're looking for, this is when I consider recruiting an online dating coach, looking at your photos, getting a second opinion from family and friends, and stepping outside of your profile and having others say, hey, what can I do with my profile that can help me get the results that I'm looking for? So it's fine-tuning your profile.
And I think that's a really great point. And this is what I tell women, because I actually, before I got into the dating industry, I used to work in advertising. And it's very, very important that women look at their online dating profile as an ad for you. And
100% is an ad for you, and it's the only way. Again, on the point of being visual, your profile picture is really what the men are seeing first. Once that they've determined attraction, if they care about the compatibility aspect, that's what will get them to read what's on your profile. But before that, it's how you appear visually.
And I'm glad you brought that up. That's a really, really great point. So let's say she actually starts getting dates and she's really nervous about going out on the first date. And as women, we always do this. We're like, okay, what do I wear? So what's a good first date outfit where you don't look like you tried too hard, but you don't want to look like you didn't try at all?
Well, that's a great question. There's hundreds of blogs and tips to write about that. I did a little bit of research myself in preparation for this. Number one, they say that you should definitely wear something that's comfortable. Okay, something you feel comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
Not comfortable doesn't mean frumpy. Okay, something classic and comfortable. So they're not you're not worried about your waistline or if you eat, like how does this look, and if it's too hugging, is he going to see the rolls here or there? I mean, you know, your bra line or whatever the case is. So wear something that's comfortable. I like that you take some time in advance and take a shopping day for yourself. Get some tips from, you know, a stylist per se, to find out what's the best shape for your body type. Because men are visual as well, but they don't necessarily want to see everything right away. So a lot of common mistakes women make is they wear outfits for a first date that are far too revealing. The skirt's a little bit too short. The cleavage is a little bit too revealing, and sometimes men like the allure of what's underneath that, just a hint of it. You can be very sexy without having to reveal everything.
I completely agree. And I tell women this is that as you start dating a guy and you go on more dates, you can just reveal a little bit more and a little bit more. But
yes, and to that dressing tips, I like a bit of a flirty style. You can dress it up with accessories, matching handbag, a scarf. These are things that you can play with when you're on a date. You can use it for flirting purposes. Color's really nice. You know, matching accessories. I think when men see the entire package, but it looks effortless, but there's something about you. You look really put together, including your makeup, your hair, everything. Dressing is not just the items of clothing you have, but it's the whole package.
I agree. And I love that you just said wear color, because I will tell you that when women wear black, they just blend. And again, men are very visual, and color makes you stand out. And I've heard this before from ladies too. They're like, "Oh, but black makes me look skinnier." And you know, you can wear black pants or a black skirt, but wear some color.
Yeah, I agree. And if someone's really prone to black, then have that one piece, the red brooch or the white belt or a flower in your hair. Again, use of the scarf and accessories so that you don't look like you're going to a funeral.
Exactly.
Feminine versus business. I think when you take black for a first date, I would be on the side of using more color than I would sticking with black.
Exactly. Great. These have been some great tips. So I want to ask you one last question, is give us your best dating tip for women.
Best dating tip for women. Okay, I had to think about that. For the ladies, going on the first tip I had for not giving up too soon with online dating, my tip for women is to not get discouraged. And it's an emotional battle that we play every day when things don't work out for us. Or when we make all this effort and we're super excited about this guy that appears great online or was recommended by a friend, and then you meet them and all of a sudden they're not who you wanted them to be, or your expectations. And so you get really discouraged. And you need to have fun when you're dating and to take every opportunity as a learning opportunity, whether it's to develop your social skills, small talk, getting advice, not advice from the guy, but asking him, you've got a man in front of you, ask him, what do guys like anyway, you know? So what is it about me that attracted you to me? Take this opportunity to learn about yourself through this person in front of you. So tip number one is to not get discouraged and to keep positive about it. And I know it sounds like a really simple tip, but we as women know how difficult that could be.
It's so true. And I'm really glad that you said that was your best dating tip, because it's true. I hear so many women go, oh my God, it's not happening for me. I'm just going to take a break and not date at all. And I think that's a huge mistake.
Okay, I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and rather than focusing on all the things you don't want, start with your list of the things you do want, and don't think about what you don't want. Just focus on what you do want.
Great point. So these have been some great tips. So now how can our audience find you?
They can find me on my personal blog, which is carmeliaray.com. All of my contact information there, and it also links out to my dating advice blog, datingloveandsextips.com.
Great. Well, thanks, Carmelia, for being on the show. I know everybody loved your tips. And thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stilettos show. If you like the show, it's available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. And if you would like to get the podcast, you can go to iTunes. And if you would like to get our free report on the top 10 secrets on what attracts a man and what turns him off, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.